Hello and good afternoon. My name is Eric Tu and I am the Program Manager of the Bachelor of Applied Science Construction Management program here at RMIT University. In the School of Property, Construction and Project Management, we offer three bachelor programs that we want to share with you today. I'm going to start by sharing with you more about the Bachelor of Applied Science Construction Management program. Next, Guinevere Gilbert will tell you more about the Bachelor of Applied Science Project Management. And Dulani Havitigala will share more about the Bachelor of Applied Science Property and Valuation. These programs are world-renowned and allow students to work across a variety of disciplines to replicate the real-world experience they will need once they start their careers. As we share more about this program, please feel free to pop in any question that you may have in the question and answer chat box, and we'll try to answer them. Next slide, please. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge the people of the Woi Wurrung and Bun Wurrung language groups of the Eastern Kulin Nation, on whose unceded lands we conduct the business of the university. RMIT University respectfully acknowledges their ancestors and elders, past and present. RMIT also acknowledges the traditional custodian and their ancestor of the land and waters across Australia where we conduct our business. Next slide, please. So our commitment to reconciliation, RMIT is committed to redefining its relationship in working with and supporting Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander self-determination. The university goal is to achieve lasting transformation by maturing its values, culture, policy, and structures in a way that embeds reconciliation in everything we do. In line with the principle of the Banjo, we are changing our ways of knowing, working, and being to support sustainable reconciliation and activate a relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous staff, student, and community. Next slide, please. So I will start with the Bachelor of Applied Science Construction Management Honours. So this is a very exciting and good program that we would like to introduce to you. This program is accredited by the important professional institutions in the industry. Specifically, we are accredited by the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyor, Chartered Institute of Building, Australian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, and Australian Institute of Building. Now, this program is also a very good program in the sense that we are ranked highly in the World University ranking. In the latest QS World University ranking by subject, we are ranked number 28 in the discipline of architecture and built environment. And that effectively put us as the number 3 highest rank in Australia. Next slide, please. So the entry requirement for this program is based on the previous year cutoff is 80.05 ATAR. And the prerequisite is the successful completion of an Australian year 12 or an equivalent. And of course, we need to have VCE Unit 3 and 4 with a study score of at least 30 in the English and a study score of 20 in any mathematics or equivalent studies. Now, if you have undertaken a certificate, diploma, or advanced diploma or associate degree, that can help you with the entry requirement of the course. And this qualification often provide credit, reducing the duration of your study here with us. So next slide, please. So in general, we have two articulation pathway. If you have a diploma of building and construction, which would usually take you about 2 years. When you join us from this articulated program, you will be able to complete the Bachelor of Applied Science Construction Management in 2.5 years. So effectively cut 1.5 years off in terms of duration. Now, if you have the Advanced Diploma of Building Design Architecture, again, there will be some credit exemption, and you will usually take about 3 years to complete the Bachelor of Applied Science Construction Management honors. Next slide, please. So this is the program structure, very straightforward. We have 32 courses or subjects that you have to do. You complete the 32 courses over 4 years if you are doing it full-time or part-time equivalent. And to do that, usually you will have to do 4 courses for each year over 2 semesters. So you are doing 4 semesters in 1 semester. In a year, 8 courses. Over 4 years, you should be able to complete the 32 courses. So our program structure is straightforward, it's simple. 29 courses are the core unit related to the discipline, to the program, and 3 university-wide electives that you can choose as a way to provide the breadth for your learning here in the university. Next slide, please. Now, beside an interesting program, our program also have a strong industry connection, which will add to the interest, will make it more interesting for you. So in our study, in the study with us, we will have opportunity to work on industry projects with real clients and receive mentoring by industry professionals. You can attend field trips, take part in local and overseas work placements, enter project competition judged by leading industry experts. All these are made possible because we have a very unique program here in our school, which is called the Employer of Choice program. Now, at the current moment, we have more than 200 employers who are part of this program. And they are the one that provide this opportunity and work with us to provide this opportunity for students to have this industry experience. Next slide, please. So this is an example. So our students take part in World CIOB Global Student Challenge. So this is an annual event where every year we have many group of students participate in this event, and this particular group of students were the champions in their year of challenge, and they were, because they are the top 5 finalists, they were flown to Toronto in Canada in that particular year. So there is a lot of opportunity for students to participate in these events. Next slide, please. Now, our students also join a yearly study tour to Dubai and London, as the one on the left. Participate in building information competition. In this particular case, we have a group of students from National University of Singapore that came over to Melbourne, and we have a friendly competition in developing building information modeling. And on the right, we have our students participated in volunteering in developing community. In this case, in Yale and Crib Point, Victoria, in partnership with the Habitat for Humanity. Next slide, please. And of course, beside the activities and the events, they also have opportunity for students to participate, to study overseas in 1 or 2 semesters in their duration of your study. So you can take a semester off or 2 semesters off and to continue those study in one of our partner university. So in the past, our student has been to Hong Kong Polytechnic University, in KTH in Stockholm, Sweden, in University of California in San Diego, University of Porto in Portugal, Shanghai Jiao Tong and Tongji University in China, University of Twente in Netherlands, or Nottingham Trent University in England. So they can spend 1 or 2 semesters in these foreign institutions and many more. Now, the good thing of this is that after you study 1 or 2 semesters there, when you are back, you can apply for credit transfer. In other words, your time spent there will not be wasted in terms of the total duration for you to complete the study. Now, besides studying opportunity, our students also got opportunity to work as part of the overseas work placement. So our student in the past has worked in Ryder, Levitt and Bucket in China and New Zealand, as well as Multiplex in London. Next slide, please. So beside all the interesting activities that students can participate in, there is a lot of interesting career outcome when you graduate from these studies. So our students can work in different areas of the disciplines, can be site managers, they can be a construction manager, quantity surveyor, contract administrator, estimator, or project manager in the various building projects or infrastructure projects. So with that, I will stop here for the sharing of the Bachelor of Applied Science in Construction Management honors. So if you have any question, continue to pop in the chat box. I will now then hand over to my colleague, Dr. Guinevere Gilbert, who will share with you on the Bachelor of Applied Science Project Management honors. So over to you, Guinevere Gilbert.
Thank you, Eric. As Eric mentioned, my name is Guinevere and I'm the Program Manager for the Bachelor of Applied Science Project Management Honours degree here at RMIT. The main question that I get asked at Open Day is what is the difference between construction management and project management? And I thought I'd start with that today. And the answer is that the project management degree has a broader focus than the construction management degree. So project managers are employed in all industries, including construction, but we have to also include other industries in our degree. So of our project management graduates, roughly half will go and work in the built environment, including in the construction industry, and the other half will go and work in all the other industries that we can identify. Next slide, please. So we are also in the School of Property Construction and Project Management, and our program is 4 years long. And as Eric mentioned, our first year courses are the same courses that the construction management and property students will do. We are accredited by 3 organisations. So that's the RICS, the PMI, which is the Project Management Institute, and that's the global body for project managers, and also the Australian Institute of Project Management, which is the Professional Association for Australian Project Managers. We share the same employer of choice program and the benefits of that program, which links students to employers. And I'll show you some of the employer of choice organisations that are registered with us in a minute. And we have excellent employment outcomes. At the moment, we achieve around 80% of our graduates get into full-time employment at the end or even before the end of their degree. Next slide, please. So our ATAR for project management is 75.15, and our prerequisites are obviously a successful completion of year 12. And as with construction, we also require you to get a score of 30 in English and a score of 20 in any maths studies. Next slide, please. There are also pathways through RMIT, and so if you undertake a Diploma of Building and Construction, or if you undertake the Advanced Diploma of Building and Design, we will guarantee you 12 months off of the project management degree, so that the degree will take you 3 years instead of 4 years. Next slide, please. So here is a map of the courses that you would study in the project management degree. And in the top row, you can see year 1 courses, and there are a range of courses that include property construction and project management, and topics that we consider essential learning outcomes for all students, like managing for sustainability and professional communication. Then in the second year of the program, we focus on technical project skills, because we understand that these are the skills that students must have to make themselves useful to employers the day they start work. Also in the second year, in the second semester, we have one of our 2 project career courses called Project Domains. Then in the third year, on that third row, you can see we have courses that relate to, we start to introduce some of the soft skills that project managers need to have, like communication, business enterprise, and leadership. And in the fourth year of the program, our courses move into the advanced project management and complex project management fields. You can see we've got 3 electives in the program, 1 in year 3 and 2 in year 4. And I've listed a range of electives on the right-hand side, but there are lots within RMIT that you can take. It's really important that if you study project management, that you use your electives to refine and add value to your qualification. So if you want to go and work in media, for example, you take 3 electives that support and will be useful in that field. If you do the diploma first as your pathway into project management, then your electives are considered already completed, so they're already ticked off for you. Next slide, please. So about 30% of our students are female, and we also welcome mature age applications as well. And we have here a quote from Renee Martin, who's actually, as an example, is a qualified fitter and turner. That's Renee on the right-hand side of that photo. She actually comes in from Gippsland to study. And you can see that Renee says that she transferred from construction to project management because even though she wants to work in construction, she recognises that project management might give her opportunities to work in other fields. Next slide, please. So there are a range of ways that we engage industry in the program, for example, using live case studies to teach with real clients. Students can participate in local and overseas study tours, COVID permitting. You can also attend site visits in Victoria and Melbourne. We also get mentors to come and work with the students, both within some of our courses and also as managed by RMIT. So there are many different ways that you can interact with mentors as a student. We also get students to complete projects in the community with real solutions to problems. Often those are in conjunction with alumni as mentors. And we also have our Employer of Choice program, which is unique to PCPM, and it supports the careers group at RMIT. And this ends our 4th year of academic study with the awards night held in October. Next slide, please. So here's just a couple of the, as Eric said, over 200 employers of choice that we have in our program. And you can see that there are a range of construction employers of choice, like big names like John Holland and ProBuild and Icon. There's also domestic builders, there's also client-side employers, and then we have NAB and Coles and other organisations that you don't normally think of as associated with project management, but they do actually employ project managers. Next slide, please. Here's some images from industry projects that the students have undertaken in the past. So on the left there, you can see some students and their industry mentors from SEMS Project Management. This was a project where students demolished or were responsible for managing the demolishing of a shed and then the purchase and reconstruction of a shared common lounge and kitchen for residents at the PCYC in St Kilda. In the middle photo, you can see one of the construction of house frames that we helped to build for Habitat for Humanity. So this is an ongoing partnership that we've had for a few years now, and we're about to, as Eric pointed out, we're about to move from Yea to Crib Point. About twice a year, we take students on site and they do residential construction, and it really gives them hands-on experiences in using tools. So that's through an elective called Construction for Shelter. And then in the image on the right, this is a project that our fourth-year project management students did last year in conjunction with an Indigenous artist student from RMIT called Courtney Glass. They produced this image called Community, which represents the range of communities that come together to study at RMIT. Next slide, please. As Eric mentioned, our students get the opportunity to study overseas, and we have the same partnerships as Eric mentioned for construction management. Popular destinations for students studying project management are Lund University in Sweden, Oxford Brookes and Nottingham Trent in the UK, and a range of universities in the USA. We do tend to prefer that students take international experience as a second-year student or the start of the third-year student before the courses get too specialised, so that we can give you that credit that for the courses you take overseas. Next slide, please. So here's a couple of LinkedIn pages from some of our alumni. So Madeline and Abdi Rahman. Madeline spent quite a few years with Jacobs in London, and she actually came back to Melbourne about 4 weeks ago. But she's retained her position with Jacobs. So Jacobs have supported her to move overseas and work for 5 years and then come back to Melbourne. Abdi Rahman, on the other hand, has just moved to London. He literally flew out of Melbourne on Boxing Day, having spent his first few years post-graduation with Savills, and he's still working with Savills overseas. So there's lots of opportunity for graduates to work overseas during their career without having to find a new employer. You can see on the left that our students, about 50%, as I said, go to work in the built environment, but the others go work in areas like renewable energy, mining, health in particular at the moment, IT, and in the creative industries as well. Next slide, please. I'm going to finish with another question that I commonly get asked in open day, and that is, how much do project managers earn? And so this is the data from the Australian Institute of Project Managers from their survey earlier this year. And we can see that the mean salary for project managers after only 3 years of experience is about $90,000. In the most well-paid industry is mining. And then after that, we've got banking, IT, defence and construction. But it really gives you a good idea of what industries project managers are recruited into and what kind of salaries people can expect to get paid. So I hope that gives you a good idea of what the project management degree offers and also the kinds of careers that it leads to. I'll now hand over to Delaney, who's going to talk about the property program at PCPM. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Guinevere. Hi, everyone. My name is Delaney Halvetikala, and like Guinevere said, I'm the program manager for Bachelor of Applied Science, Property and Valuation degree at RMIT. So in this short presentation, I'm going to talk to you briefly about our program. Next slide, please. First, why a career in property? Why study property? To that question, I can give you a number of answers. Firstly, you might know that the property sector is Australia's largest industry, contributing over $203 billion to the economy every year. And also the property sector is the biggest contributor to the country's employment, employing over 1.4 million people and generating over 23,000 jobs every year. So what that simply means is with a property degree, you will not have any difficulty finding employment opportunities. And also the property sector is an exciting area to work in because there is a good balance between hands-on activities and management activities in your day-to-day jobs. For example, talking about from my own experience working as a property valuer before I joined academia, during the day, I would go to inspect the properties that I was to value, and then in the afternoon, I would come back to the office to write valuation reports. So there is a good mixture of hands-on activities and management activities. Most of the jobs in property are not type of jobs that require you to be in the office all day looking at the computer. And also with the property degree, you got diverse career opportunities as well. And all these job opportunities are financially rewarding, like Eric and Gunavia explained in their presentations. And the other thing is that property is one of the main investment options to anyone who doesn't want to invest in property, who does not want to create a property portfolio for themselves. Because of that, there is always a market for people with property knowledge. Next slide, please. Like I said before, with a property degree, you got diverse career opportunities that you can choose from. One of them is property development. You will be able to work in development companies as property development managers by managing various aspects of a property development process. Then you can work as a property valuer, valuing various types of properties such as residential properties, commercial properties, specialized properties such as government assets, infrastructure assets, agricultural properties, etc. And then with a property degree, you will be able to work in a property investment sector as well, such as a superannuation sector. And the other one is asset property and facilities management area. Again, you will be managing various types of properties and portfolios in that career path. If you like doing research, you will be able to work as a property researcher for various property companies. The other option is working for property consulting services, giving various advice to your clients. The other option is property finance. So those are mainly banks and finance companies. You would be working for banks and finance companies looking after their mortgage related matters. Sales and leasing is another area that you can go to with a property degree. When I say sales and leasing here, I'm talking about large scale commercial property sales and leasing, such as office, retail, and industrial properties. I'm not talking about selling and leasing residential properties, because to do that, you do not need a degree. The other area that you can go to is property education and be an educator. So you can see that with a property degree, you have got diverse career opportunities and you will be able to select your preferred employment path. Next slide, please. Next, why study property at RMIT? Our program at RMIT is the oldest property program in Victoria. The program was established nearly 50 years ago. In fact, our program is one of the largest property programs in Australia as well. Because of that, we got very strong connection with the industry. Many directors and executives of property companies are in fact our past graduates, and some of them are engaged in our program as guest speakers and mentors. And the program is taught by very experienced, well qualified academic staff. We all have a PhDs in property and related areas, and also we have extensive work experience in our specialist areas. And our program is very much practical and hands-on as well, like Eric and Gunavia explained, because you will have number of practical experience in our courses, such as field inspections, property inspections, measurement exercises, etc. So when you think about a property course or property degree, you will not be able to get that knowledge by learning online only. By providing a practical hands-on learning experience, our objective is to provide work-ready graduates. Because of that, our program consistently enjoy very high employment rates. It's over 90% every year. And also the program covers all aspects related to the property area. Because of that, if you decide to change your career path in property, you do not need to train yourself again, because that knowledge is already obtained in the program. Next slide, please. So talking about the entry requirements, the ATAR required is a 75.55, and like the other two courses, you need to meet sufficient English and maths requirements. Let's say that you were not able to achieve this ATAR, you wanted to enroll in this program. However, there are some pathways that you can use to enroll in this program in that case. So in that case, you will be doing some relevant diplomas and advanced diplomas, and use that qualification as a pathway to our program. And you will be able to get credits for the courses you completed in your diploma or advanced diploma. Next slide, please. So these are the two pathways to our program. First one is Diploma of Building and Construction. With that qualification, you will be able to enroll in our program and complete the program in 3 years. The second pathway is Advanced Diploma of Building Design. With that qualification, you will be able to complete the program in 3 years. Next slide, please. So this is the course structure, which is quite similar to construction and project management courses or programs. Because this is an honors course, it is a one level ahead of a typical 3-year property program. So in the program, you will be studying 3 subjects, and 29 of those 32, I'm sorry, you will be studying 32 subjects, and 29 of those subjects are core subjects related to the program. And the other 3 subjects are electives. They can be any undergraduate level course offered by the university. However, the school offers number of relevant electives if you like to take them, such as study tours, rural valuation course, work experience courses. If you look at the core subjects in our program, you can see that they cover all the key areas related to the property. For example, we got number of valuation courses, number of development courses, investment courses, management courses in the program. And also we have some economics courses, data analysis, spatial analysis, property law, and also property planning and property research courses. So with that thorough understanding, you will be a job ready graduate at the end of the program. Next slide, please. So we always encourage our students to view property from a global perspective. To help our students with that, we arrange study tours. Before the pandemic, we used to take our students on study tours every year to different countries to see how their property markets behave and perform. And those are some of the places we had been in the past, such as New York, San Francisco, London, Paris, Barcelona, New Zealand, Japan, Dubai, Fiji, Hong Kong, China, and Singapore. So, in the last 2 years, we were not able to conduct our study tours, as you can understand. However, when the situation gets better, we plan to introduce our study tours again. The other thing is study abroad or exchange programs like Eric and Guinevere presented in their presentations. We encourage our students to study overseas for a semester or two, and then come back and get credits for the courses they completed overseas. And we help our students to find universities and also proper programs to enroll in if they are interested in going on exchange programs. So like Eric and Guinevere mentioned before, RMIT has got 200 plus partnership universities where you will be able to go and complete a semester or two there. Next slide, please. Our program has got the highest level of accreditation, both nationally and internationally. Our program is accredited by the Australian Property Institute, which is the national body for property professionals. It is accredited by the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, which is the international body for property and building surveying professionals. Our program is also recognized by a Property Council of Australia. What that simply means is with a property degree, you will be able to go to many parts of the world and work there because the qualification you got from from the university is recognized by other countries. Go to the next slide, please. And next, I just wanted to share a testimonial from one of our students, Toma Rez. She's a third year student in our program, and she's the recipient of the scholarship of a Value General Victoria this year. So as she explained in her talk there, property is a very dynamic, energetic and ever-growing career path with plenty of employment opportunities. And also RMIT's property program offers comprehensive knowledge and understanding of all the areas related to a property, so you will be better prepared as a graduate when you finish our program. Go to the next slide, please. Next, I wanted to talk to you about our Employer of Choice program. Eric and Guinevere already talked about that, and the school runs this program called Employer of Choice program with over 250 employers registered with us. This simply means that every time these employers have relevant employment opportunities, they will contact RMIT. So we would be able to help our students to find employment opportunities through this program. What that means is by the time our students are in their third and fourth years, they are already working in industry. And also a couple of property companies offer scholarships and internships to our students as well. For example, companies like Stockland, Mervac, GPT, M3 Property, Coles offer scholarships to our property students, and companies such as Value General Victoria, Oliver Hume, Knight Frank, CBRE, Colliers, ISPT, they offer internships to our students. So that is a sort of okay, next slide, please. So these are some of our industry partners. You might recognize some of the logos there. Like I mentioned before, they are our industry partners offering scholarships, internships, and employment opportunities to our students. Next slide, please. that is the end of my short presentation. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, please let us know. And we look forward to seeing you at RMIT next year. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Eric.
All right, thank you, Dulani and Guinevere. So we are now open for question and answer. So we'll try to look through what you have put into the chat, and we'll go through them, and we'll try to answer them now. So let's see what question we have. Okay. How many lectures do we need to attend per week on campus? Excellent. So in general, as I say, as a full-time student, you are expected to do 4 courses per semester. And for each of the courses, I would say that you will probably need to have a face-to-face contact hours of about 3 hours, which depends, of course, each courses are being delivered differently. Some will be a mix of lecture and tutorial. Some will be run as a workshop. And of course, as I say, each course is about 3 hours. So I would say that on average, the contact hours is about 12 hours a week. I hope that answers your question. Next question we have here is, if you don't get the ATA, can I still get in without pathways? Now, I would just say that ATA that we put up is indicative based on past year experience, but based on what we have seen is that the ATA has been quite consistent over the past few years, so we will expect that they will be quite close to that. If you do not have the ATA, I think it's like if you didn't achieve the ATA, I think the best way is probably to go through the pathway. As in each of the programs, we indicated some of the pathway that you can consider. So I think that is probably the best way for you to get into the program if you cannot achieve the ATA as we indicated. Next question, can the property degree get you into being a real estate agent? So, yep, so we'll just pass over to you, Dulani, to answer this. Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. The thing is, you do not need to have a property degree to be a real estate agent. So you simply complete a real estate agent's rep course, which takes about a month or so to complete to become a real estate agent. To be a real estate agent, you do not need a property degree. So like I explained in my presentation, with a property degree, you have plenty more other exciting employment opportunities, such as being a valuer, working in property development, working for investment funds such as superannuation funds, etc. And also, if you want to do real estate agency type of work, I would recommend that you might consider looking for large scale commercial sales and leasing activities. So with a property degree, it would be easier for you to land on roles like those. But if you want to do real estate agency in residential property selling and leasing, to do that you do not need a property degree. That is my answer. Thank you, Eric.
Okay, next question is again yours, Dulani. Will you be a certified valuer by the end of this course?
You will not be. To be a certified valuer, you need to complete this degree plus a 2-year full-time work experience. So like I explained in my presentation, most of our students have start working in their 3rd year. So by the time when they are in their final year, they most likely have completed their work experience as well. But to become a certified property valuer, you need to have this property degree plus a 2-year full-time work experience with a valuation company.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Tulani.
Eric.
Next question is also yours. What are some skills employers are looking for in property?
Say again, please.
What are some of the skills employers looking for in property?
In property, good question. I think that applies to any sort of jobs in our area. I would think they would look for mainly your technical skills. That means you need to know your subject knowledge. So you need to have that technical skills. That's really important. So you need to know, what development is, valuation is. That subject knowledge is very important. Second skill type, I would say your communication skills is very important as well. That's why Eric and Gunavi explained, we have some communication courses in our program as well, because you need to communicate well with your employers and also clients. So the second skill type would be communication skills. A third skill, I would say your management skills, because you need to manage the work you do properly. So the time management is quite important. Talking about my own experience as a property valuer, when I was practicing, I had a couple of evaluation exercises to complete in a day. So then you need to manage them properly. So I would say that you need to have good technical skills, good communication skills, and good management skills. I'm sure that applies to other study areas as well.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Tulani. Next question we have is, I'm struggling to decide which program to choose. What advice can you give? Wow, this is a hard one. My advice is usually follow your heart, which again probably not going to help you very much. I'm not sure if there is Guinevere, you got any advice for these potential students?
I would say if you are certain that you want to work in construction or property, then take the construction and property or property degrees. If you're undecided, then I would suggest taking the project management degree, because it gives you more options, and you can still work in construction and in property when you have a project management degree, but there are other options as well. So you can do what Renee Martin did in her experience. She did switch from construction management to project management because she wanted the breadth of opportunity. But if you are absolutely passionate about construction and you know that's definitely where you want to work, then yes, I would look at the construction, and the same for property. That's my advice.
Thanks, Guinevere. I think possibly another thing you can consider is in our school, the 3 programs are sometimes because as Guinevere I think mentioned that we have a common courses in the first year. So some of our students who come into one program and after a year they decided to switch from one to another. So that is also possible. If you can't decide which of the 3, you can choose one first, come in, and then you can switch after 1 year. All right. Okay. What's next? Why is the project management cost center around construction so much? Guinevere, it's yours again.
Thank you. That's a really good question. So when we are designing the content in the project management degree, we really have to take into consideration the expectations of the 2 key stakeholders, and they are our students and also our employers, the people who give the students jobs at the end of it. And so we need to play a balancing act between demand for students, where the demand for students for jobs is, and also remembering that there are other industries. And we get all this information from the PMI and the AIPM, and we see which industries are growing. So at the moment in Australia, renewable resources and mining, ICT and health are really big growth industries for recruiting project managers. You know, we talk about thousands of project managers being required over the next 10 to 20 years. And so there is, if you look at the content in the program, the construction courses don't go beyond the middle of the second year. After that, everything is generic. So the content, the case studies include infrastructure and ICT, and other industries as well. Energy and the environmental industries are included in case studies. Your projects, your assignments, you can pick which industry you want to do your assignment in, and right up through to the things like the capstone course and other courses in the fourth year, where you can engage with the community in whichever industry you want to. So it might look like a focus on construction in the first year. It's not really a focus on construction, it's on the broader built environment, but certainly after the first year, we really do work quite hard to expand and include as many industries as we can throughout the program. I hope that helps. I hope it's a useful answer for you.
Thanks, Guinevere. Next question is yours again. How are women encouraged, I think, to advance in this field of study?
Is that for construction or project management or property?
I think for generic, probably you are better in answering that.
How are women encouraged? So there is actually a PCPM Women's Club, which you can join, and it's actually open to all students, not just female students. There are lots of alumni female alumni that we have that we bring back in as mentors, and so we really do support female students through the program just as much as we support the male students through the program. What about in construction, Eric?
Yeah, so I think we have that. How are women encouraged to advance in the field of study? I'm not sure 100% I get this, but I think whether you are male or female, you should be able to advance in the field of study. And yeah, so we have a lot of getting more and more women in the program nowadays. So beside all the club and like what Guinevere say, yeah, it is something that we have, and there's a lot of activities to help the women in the program in this aspect. I don't have anything else to add. Anyone? No?
It's actually the same with property as well, because we have about 1/3 1/3 of our students are female students, and we work very hard to increase that percentage. We would love to have more girls in our program to do that. Before the pandemic hit, we actually used to go to girls' schools to promote our program, and we were part of the Girls in Property program introduced by Property Council of Australia. We would love to have more women in our program, and also students from other backgrounds as well, like from minority groups as well.
Okay, I got extra information. I was told that women are offered extra points to enter into one of our 3 programs, so that's possibly is what is useful for you. Okay, the next question we have is, does having experience in Cert 3 TAFE classes help when getting into these courses? Well, I think any prior learning into any of these TAFE courses, of course, it will help, but I don't think is necessary. But you know, it's always good to have more learning beforehand if you want to. But or whether help getting into these courses, unless it is part of the articulation program that we mentioned, a specific cert, I don't think it will help in terms of entering into the course. I hope that's answer what you are asking. Okay. Any other question? Do we have no more in my list? Any last question, anyone? Okay, if no, I will close today's session. Anyone last one? I'm waiting. All right, if not, we'll close the session. So thank you everyone for logging in. Thank you for your questions, and I do hope that we can see some of you joining us soon. So otherwise, all the best to you, and we will close the session now. Thank you again. Oh, you have one, is it? No, okay. No more question. All right. Thank you all and see you. Bye. Take care.